Hello PLP Geometry. Welcome to Unit 1 Intro to Geometry, Video 2 Defined Terms Segments. Okay, so again, we're going to continue learning about the building blocks of geometry in this Unit 1. So I will start off by heading my screen here, Unit 1 Intro to Geometry. You don't have to recopy this, right, because we're still within Unit 1. But you might want to head this set of notes as video number 2. And this is defined terms. And again, I'm really working hard on making my handwriting a little bit nicer compared to those Algebra 1 videos. So we're doing defined terms. And again, our focus here is on segments. Segments. Okay? All right, so the first definition we were going to talk about, and I'll do it in orange, will be what a segment is. So again, most of these involve being parts of lines. So you'll see that definition is, the definitions include that. So a segment is going to be part of a line, part of a line with two endpoints. So I will draw a segment. I will have one endpoint being A, and I have one endpoint being B. Okay? So we would call this segment AB. So it's capital A, capital B with a segment on top. Notice there's no dots on the ends, it's just a bar. Okay? You can also call this segment BA. Now, if I put a point somewhere on this segment and call it C, well, now I've kind of split this segment AB into two smaller segments, AC and CB, right? But again, we are not going to name this segment, so it's not, sorry about that, that says not. We are not going to name this segment ACB. We don't need three letters. Okay, and again, you have to name the segment by its endpoints, A and B in this case. All right. Now, as I said, this is part of a line. So again, if you just extended it out, there's that part of the line. There's that part of the line. So again, we're just looking at this part of the line in between A and B, and then point C is somewhere on it. Now, when we talk about segments, because segments have endpoints, segments do have a length, right? And if I'm going to talk about the length of the segment, I just use the two endpoints without the bar. So if you just see AB together, that means the length of segment AB. When you see AB by itself just like that, typically it's going to equal a number. Right, so keep that in mind. And we'll do segments a lot this year, right? Because segments help build our triangles, our quadrilaterals, right? So again, we'll do segments and circles, all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, next here we have what's called a ray. Again, if I asked you, where have you seen a ray before? Maybe you think of a ray of sunshine, right? So a ray is part of a line. Part of a line. I'm just going to tell you, it's really a struggle for me to, write each letter. I really just like to scribble. So I'm doing my best. Part of a line with only one endpoint. One endpoint. So if we think of this, right, so if I draw one endpoint, and then it's part of a line, so then as I go off here, I'm going to go to the right, I got to put an arrow on that end, right? Remember that the line would go on infinitely both directions, but I'm stopping it here at this endpoint. Let's call it M. And then I'm going to put a second point over here towards the arrow. We're going to call it N. So this M is the endpoint. That's where the ray starts. Okay? And again, if you think of a ray of sunshine, think of the sun as the endpoint, and then the ray of sunshine coming down towards the earth. I know it stops, but still like ray of sunshine. So this would be named ray MN, MN with a ray above it. You cannot write it backwards. This is not ray NM. And that is because when you name a ray, you start with the endpoint. So it's not ray NM. Now I want to draw a second ray down here. This time I'm going to draw the ray like this. So I'm going to put a point there, call it Q. I'm going to draw the ray going kind of in this direction. And let's put a second point on there, call it R. Now again, in this ray, Q is the endpoint. Endpoint. So when I name this ray, I have to start with the endpoint. I have to put the second point on there, and I'm still drawing the arrow above QR to the right. So no matter what way the ray goes in, what direction, you still name it endpoint, second point with the arrow going from left to right above it. Okay, and last but not least, let's talk about what are called opposite rays. So opposite rays. And opposite rays are rays with the same endpoint, on the same line, on the same line. Okay, so if I draw, I'm going to draw ray TU. So I'm going to put a T here. I'm going to go, so that's a T. I'm going to go off to the right and put a U right there. So there's ray TU. And if I draw a second ray starting at T but going in the opposite direction of this ray, so it'd be going off to the left, and I'll put another point there, S. This is a picture of opposite rays. Again, pretend like this is straight across. I know, it's not supposed to angle up or down, to go straight across. So TU, ray TU, and ray TS. Again, notice I use T both times because E is that same, or T is that same endpoint. So these two rays form line SU, line SU. So this is a good description for this picture. So ray TU and ray TS form line SU. Okay, we talked about this word in the last video, but we would say ST and U are, because they're on the same line, collinear. Collinear. And that's a vocab word from last class. Perfect. So here are your defined terms involving segments. Again, do your best to try to remember these forever and ever. All right, thanks for watching.